In 2025, beauty isn't just about looks, it's about presence, pride, and power. And these 5 stunning gay male models, they're not just turning heads, they're taking over your feed, your heart, and the fashion world, one flawless photo at a time. They've got millions of followers, high fashion campaigns, and unapologetic queer energy that's rewriting the rules of modeling. From viral TikToks to major runway moments, these stars are redefining what it means to be hot, out, and in control. Today on Rainbow Spotlight, we're counting down 5 gay male models who are dominating social media in 2025. And trust us, by the end of this video, you'll be double tapping every single one. Let's get into it. Star. Benji Krol, the soft boy king of TikTok. At first glance, Benji Krol feels like the human embodiment of aesthetic vibes, soft lighting, dreamy hair, and that perfect Gen Z blend of shyness and confidence. But behind the curated filters and 30-second lip syncs lies one of the most quietly revolutionary gay creators on social media today. Born in Brazil and raised between Canada and Europe, Benji burst onto the TikTok scene in the platform's early days. What started as harmless fun with effects and filters quickly spiraled into global fame. With his androgynous beauty, bilingual charm, and emotional vulnerability, he amassed over 30 million followers across platforms. But the real reason people stayed? He made soft feel strong. Benji didn't begin as a loud queer icon. He never needed to come out with fireworks. His queerness existed gently, woven into the way he painted his nails, cried on camera, or talked about love without labeling every detail. In a digital world flooded with curated masculinity, Benji gave millions of queer boys permission to be emotional, sensitive, and still magnetic. But his journey wasn't all pastel edits and happy vibes. In 2020, Benji faced the brutal side of online fame when he and his ex-partner were pulled into a whirlwind of controversy, cancel culture, and mental health challenges. Instead of retreating, he chose radical honesty. He opened up about his struggles with depression, the pressure of fame, and the loneliness of living online. His vulnerability turned him from a pretty face into a person, one that fans, especially young queer teens, could deeply relate to. Over the years, Benji has embraced modeling, content creation, photography, and storytelling. But he's never boxed himself in. One day he's posting thirst traps. The next, he's sharing sad poetry in his IG captions. That balance between beauty and depth is exactly why he's remained relevant while so many others faded out. And let's talk about visual power. Benji has mastered it. Whether he's rocking bleached brows, a pearl necklace, or full-face makeup, he brings a softness that's deliberate and empowering. Brands like Fenty Beauty, Dior, and even Vogue Italia have taken notice, placing him in the center of campaigns that are redefining modern masculinity. Benji Krol didn't shout his queerness. He painted it softly across everything he touched. And in doing so, he gave a generation permission to stop performing toughness and start choosing authenticity. Drop a 4 if Benji Krol helped you feel seen, soft, and strong all at once. Strong. Manu Rios, the Spanish dream who never needed labels. Some stars arrive with a press release. Manu Rios walked in with a look, a vibe, and 12 million people whispering, "Is he?" And maybe that's the power of Manu. He doesn't need to say a word. He is the word. Born in Spain and raised in the spotlight since childhood, Manu was no stranger to the camera. But it was his role as Patrick in Netflix's Elite that truly changed the game. He didn't just play a gay character, he embodied a queer energy so magnetic it made everyone watching sit a little straighter, breathe a little slower, and feel a little seen. His look? Ethereal. Sharp cheekbones, soft curls, the kind of face that belongs on a Renaissance ceiling or a Saint Laurent campaign. His fashion? Unapologetically fluid. One day it's pearls and crop tops, the next it's oversized blazers and combat boots, always high fashion, always queer-coded, always Manu. But behind the effortless visuals lies something deeper. Manu Rios is soft power. He doesn't scream his truth, he lives it, letting the world feel it in every smoldering stare and every Instagram post that feels more like a poem than a thirst trap. And yet, he's never labeled himself. He doesn't need to. When asked about his sexuality, he's responded with quiet elegance, "Labels are limiting. That's not evasion, it's evolution. It's a reminder that identity can be fluid, that visibility doesn't always require definition." Off camera, he supports LGBTQ+ rights, speaks out about mental health, and uses his platform with purpose. He doesn't post rainbow flags once a year. He is the flag, stitched into the culture through style, silence, and subtle rebellion. In an era where queerness is both political and performative, Manu gives us something rare, a star who glows without trying, who queers the space just by being. He's not trying to prove anything, and that, ironically, proves everything. Game-changing moment. Manu didn't come out. He came through, reshaping masculinity, Gen Z stardom, and the meaning of queer representation, all without saying a word. Drop a 1 if Manu Rios has ever made you rethink what queer confidence really looks like. Star. Andrés Camilo, from boyfriend goals to social media. Star. Andrés Camilo isn't just a pretty face on your feed. He's part of one of the internet's most beloved queer couples and a rising icon in his own right. With his model-worthy features, dreamy eyes, and effortlessly chic wardrobe, Andrés has quietly built a presence that's equal parts sexy, wholesome, and aspirational. And if you've ever seen one of his TikToks or Reels with longtime boyfriend Elliot Norris, you already know this man is walking boyfriend material. Originally from Colombia and now based in the US, Andrés first caught the public's eye through his soft-spoken charisma and magnetic chemistry with Elliot. Their relationship, open, joyful, and undeniably attractive, offered a fresh take on what modern queer love could look like. No drama, no performative PDA, just genuine affection, shared adventures, and a sense of ease that made thousands of LGBTQ+ fans feel seen. But Andrés is far more than someone's boyfriend. With over 1 million followers across platforms, he's carved out a unique niche, combining minimalist fashion, soft masculinity, and subtle confidence. His feed is an aesthetic dream. Clean lines, muted tones, and travel snapshots that scream quiet luxury. Think walking through Paris in a beige trench coat, sipping espresso at a hotel with marble floors, or cuddling under cashmere blankets at a ski lodge in Aspen. He's not shouting influencer, he's radiating lifestyle goals. What makes him even more iconic is how naturally he represents queer identity. Andrés doesn't need to wear a rainbow flag on every post to be a symbol of pride. He simply is. The way he carries himself, the comfort in his skin, and the tenderness in how he speaks about love all make him a quiet but powerful role model for young gay men navigating identity, style, and relationships. Andrés also collaborates with fashion brands that match his polished aesthetic. Think Aesop, COS, and Everlane. His influence goes beyond fashion, though. He's part of a new generation of LGBTQ+ creators redefining online masculinity, less about muscles and bravado, more about emotional intelligence, connection, and self-expression. He may not be the loudest voice on TikTok, but he's one of the most memorable. Every post feels like a slow Sunday morning, intentional, warm, and beautiful. And in a world that often rewards chaos and controversy, Andrés Camilo is proof that softness can still shine the brightest. Drop a 5 if Andrés Camilo is your definition of calm, classy, and quietly iconic. Alfredo Diaz, TikTok's Latin heartthrob, who queered the algorithm. Before you even know his name, you've probably seen his face: golden skin, bedroom eyes, a jawline sharp enough to slice diamonds. Alfredo Diaz isn't just a TikTok crush. He's a walking contradiction wrapped in confidence and softness, and he's flipping the script on what it means to be masculine, gay, and unapologetically online. It started like many Gen Z stars with a simple post, a dance, a look, a smirk. But unlike your average thirst trapper, Alfredo's content hit different. His energy was electric, flirtatious but never forced. The camera didn't just love him, it lingered on him. And so did we. What followed was a meteoric rise, millions of followers, brand deals, edits, tweets. Gay Twitter crowned him a bi-panic king. Stan accounts flooded timelines. He was giving queer-coded luxury. Calvin Klein in one post, soft pastels and pearls the next. And yet, amidst all the heat, Alfredo was calm. He didn't post a coming-out video. He didn't give a sit-down interview about his identity. Instead, he existed boldly and beautifully in every frame, dancing with boys, flirting with both sides of the spectrum, showing affection, vulnerability, and that rare Gen Z blend of humor and heart. And that silence? It was powerful. In a world obsessed with labels and headlines, Alfredo showed us another path. Live at first. Let the vibe speak. His aesthetic became a rebellion against the closet, against toxic masculinity, against the idea that you have to explain your queerness before you express it. And he's not just looks, he's vocal about mental health. He uses his platform to talk about insecurities, family, love, and growing up Latino and queer in a world that often forces you to pick one box. His content feels like a love letter to softness. And still, somehow, he manages to make every video look like it belongs in a Dior home campaign. Alfredo Diaz isn't asking for attention. He's redefining attraction, one wink at a time. Game-changing moment. Alfredo didn't just queer TikTok, he queered the algorithm itself, proving that authenticity, sensuality, and silence can be louder than any label. Drop a 2 if Alfredo's soft confidence has ever made you feel braver just being yourself. Star. Johan Akan, the French model redefining queer masculinity with class. With chiseled cheekbones, piercing eyes, and a runway presence that exudes effortless luxury, Johan Akan is the kind of model you don't just look at. You remember, he doesn't need loud branding or viral gimmicks. One slow-motion walk down a Balmain catwalk, and the fashion world took notice. But Johan isn't just a pretty face in designer threads. He's the embodiment of a new kind of masculinity, one that blends elegance, edge, and unapologetic queerness. Born and raised in France, Johan's rise was anything but typical. While many models chase the spotlight through reality TV or influencer culture, Johan let the work speak. His early campaigns with Givenchy and Kenzo gave him street cred, but it was his presence, both polished and enigmatic, that made him a favorite of high-end houses and edgy editorials alike. He didn't just fit the mold, he bent it. What sets Johan apart is how quietly yet powerfully queer he is in every space he enters. He doesn't make grand declarations. He doesn't need to. His sensual, often androgynous aesthetic on shoots, his fluid fashion choices, and his confidence in embracing femininity, all of it queers the lens in a way that feels revolutionary without shouting. And when asked about his sexuality, Johan once said simply, "I'm comfortable. I live my truth. That's all." On Instagram, where he boasts hundreds of thousands of followers, Johan's feed is a curated dream. Moody Parisian streets, sleek luxury campaigns, vulnerable poetry, and shirtless snapshots that drip with sensuality and softness. But there's depth behind the beauty. He uses his platform to speak about body image, mental health, and breaking the stigma around vulnerability in men, especially queer men who don't see themselves reflected in traditional media. His style? Think silk shirts, leather pants, and vintage rings paired with smoky eyeliner. He looks like a character straight out of a queer fashion noir. And yet, there's a gentleness to him, one that makes followers feel seen, not just dazzled. Behind the camera, Johan is also a writer and creative director. His short film, Flesh and Memory, debuted in 2024 to acclaim in queer film circles, blending visual storytelling and poetry to explore intimacy, longing, and identity. He's not just modeling luxury, he's building it from the inside out. Drop a 3 if Johan Akan's quiet elegance and bold presence inspire you to live your truth without needing permission, They're not just pretty faces. They're pioneers of visibility, representation, and pride, each in their own way. From Benji Krol's soft boy vulnerability, to Manu Rios' cinematic glow-up, to Johan Akan's silent confidence, these men are rewriting what it means to be a gay male model in 2025. They're not hiding. They're not shrinking. They're building empires out of authenticity and looking expensive while doing it. In a world still obsessed with perfection, their power comes from being real, from letting softness shine, from turning vulnerability into influence. That's not just beauty, that's bravery. So here's the truth. You don't need to change to fit the spotlight. Let the spotlight change for you. Drop the number of your favorite in the comments. And if you believe representation matters now more than ever, smash that like button and subscribe to Rainbow Spotlight for more stories that inspire, empower, and slay.